Welcome to the Heritage Live Weekly, everyone. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, we go over the auctions that are taking place and we talk about the market. Hopefully I can see you guys next Tuesday in the live chat. Have I been doing much selling in this market? Hassan, I haven't done a ton right now, but I'm going to be doing a lot more soon. I'm going to be consigning some stuff to Heritage. I'll make a video and everything going over what I'm going to sell, what my thoughts are, and etc, etc, etc. But as of, late, the past 1 year, 2 year, I have not done much selling. I've been doing a lot of holding. Would it be a good idea to hold off on grading until CGC is running too? Potentially, yes. If you don't like VGA, I don't think there's, yes, you can wait for CGC. The issue with CGC grading is right now, we don't know how the market's going to take to it immediately. So if you want to wait for CGC grading, you might also be waiting for the market to appreciate CGC grading. So you might be waiting first for the grading for a year and then waiting for the market to give a shit about it. It's hard to say how immediate their effects will be. So, up for auction this week. There's an ET here that might actually do well due to how notorious it is with the ET landfill and everything like that. So, even though it's a shitty game and a meme, really, it's always going to have a lot of demand amongst Atari fans and even amongst the greater video game collectors, really, just due to how good of a story it is and how good of a display piece it is. That's always something to keep in mind too when you're buying items. How much common person appeal is there? And how easy is the story to translate to someone? And the ET Atari 2600 will always be super easy to translate, and a lot of people are going to understand it immediately. We actually had our Spider-Man be withdrawn from this auction. That sucks. Always like seeing a good Spider-Man sale. Moving out of the Atari this week, we have a hang tab Castlevania. It's only a 6.5, but that could do well. Same with this hang tab Kid Icarus here. Only a 7.5 again, but we will check the box grades on those and see how they might actually do, because the boxes on these hang tab ones are so important that even if this is a 6.5 overall, if the box is a 7, a 7.5, it could do better relatively than it otherwise would do. Moving into the Game Boy, we have Pokémon Red, 9.2, it's only a complete in box though. Tetris is a 7.5 complete in box. I'm surprised how much complete in box there is in this weekly auction. Really, the best item so far this week, by far, is this Ocarina of Time Collector's Edition in 9.0A+, which we already see it at 12,600 here. The Final Fantasy Tactics is a 9.4A+. That's pretty solid. The Guilty Gear isn't bad here. Only a B+ seal on it. High grade Inuyasha. Mike Tyson's Boxing is high grade, maybe? Honestly, I don't know if there's anything much else in the frickin'... We got a Bioshock here, 9.2A++, which, that could do well. Bioshock Infinite, I think, oh my god, it's already at 408? How much can you go buy a Bioshock Infinite for right now? I swear this game has to be, under 50 bucks? Catherine, 9.8A+, I am curious to see how this sells. I personally love Catherine, think it's a great game. And there's the Atari ET selling for what, 600 there? I need to get back to our current lot. What'd that sell for? Yeah, 600 bucks there for the Atari, or for ET. I think ET will honestly, unironically become a grail of Atari. What's the best move you have consoles, handhelds for grading? Hold on to them and hope others grade, or just go with VGA? Unicorn, if it's for your personal collection, or even if you're reselling them, you could literally be waiting years before someone else opens up console grading. We don't know what CGC is going to offer at this time, and I really have I don't expect, WATA to open up consoles anytime soon. So it just depends how soon you want them graded and how soon you can wait. How long you can wait, I mean. Aki, that is the big paradox, right? The bubble can't pop if we're all sitting here waiting for the bubble to pop. It literally can't happen. All of us collectively would have to say, I don't want to buy video games anymore. They would have to fall out of flavor and fall out of prominence. And that just isn't going to happen anytime soon. So anyone talking about, a bubble pop or everything going down, it just won't happen. It won't be a blanket. It might happen in certain subsections of the market. You might see softening, like how we're seeing graded Pokemon games on the lower end kind of fall in price, stabilize in price. You're going to see that, sure. But we're never just going to see an actual bubble pop. It can't happen. How long before we can no longer find raw sealed games? Yeah, that's already finding raw games. Anything decent raw that comes up is going to be snatched in minutes on eBay. I watched a factory sealed Shadows of the Empire N64, $399, decent condition. It sold within 10 minutes. I didn't buy it. I debated it, but I didn't buy it. But yeah, anything decent that's at a decent price is going to be bought instantly because it's so easy right now to speculate and flip. And there's so much attention in speculating. So you know, it's not impossible right now to find raw games, but you really have to be looking diligently. So here's the Pele Soccer, which I guess we'll see how many people give a shit about Pele, because it's only a 6.5 here. The previous copy was an 88 reprint, so this is an 81. Okay, so this must be an original print here, which is why we're seeing this aggressive bidding action. Now, me being, you know, not a soccer guy, Pele doesn't mean much to me at all, but I understand what's happening here. And for whoever in chat asked me about sports athlete covers on modern games, you see it already in the older games, so if the pattern continues, it absolutely makes sense. And I do expect the pattern to continue, because it's not like sports and sports memorabilia recognition or card collecting is going anywhere anytime soon. So that's $1,000 for Pele Soccer. 6.5, no seal, 81 green box. You have a SmackDown vs. Raw 07, which is a French manual sealed over top, so I assume it would get a high grade. Color Closet, if you're going to submit that, I do recommend that you open the Canadian seal first, because underneath you should have actual Y folds. So, you know what I mean? You're going to have that seam seal going around the sides with the manual to the back, I assume. I would personally open that first, remove the French manual, and submit it as a US copy of the game. You will do better that way than you will keeping it as a Canadian variant or anything like that. What's Bioshock Infinite at? It was at like 500, 400? It was at something stupid already. Let me just scroll forward here. It was at a price that didn't make sense. Bioshock Infinite. 10 out of 10 masterpiece, big ass sticker on it, $408. I'm not seeing it. First copy. I'm not seeing anything special here. If you guys know if there's a variant, let me know in chat, but I'm seeing a pretty vanilla-ass Bioshock there for 500 bucks. How have Canadian variants compared to USA? Worse in almost every way, Aki. They're just not as good. Canadian variants will almost always sell for less, unless there's something special about the Canadian variant. Which, sometimes on NES, the Canadian variants might do well because, like, Canadian variant Dragon Warrior has a hang tab. That's pretty cool. But otherwise, when you get into PS2, PS1... the bilingual versions, really, they just don't sell as well. Nobody wants the bilingual versions, and the majority of collectors are American. So you kind of just get screwed. Surprised I don't have more subs. Mike B, the channel is still quite new. Only started it this year, so I mean, my yearly goal, Mike, was to have 1,000 subs on the channel for 1 year. So we're sitting around 3,000 right now. I honestly couldn't be happier. It's going really good. It's going really good. Hopefully the channel does just experience natural and even exponential growth as we do just grow. You know, we'll just keep growing over time. We'll get there. We'll get there. Here we go with the start of the NES block. We have a first print. Yes, first print Castlevania on NES. First print is because it has the hang tab, and then I'll show you guys the cartridge too. Oh no, I probably can't. So that actually sold super low. I did think there'd be a little bit more bidding, but go ahead and take a peek at this Castlevania, and you can see that this box is in fact trashed. What grade is this? So this is still a 5.5 box. I'm honestly a little bit surprised. Like for a 5.5, you'd think there'd be like a little bit of redeeming quality, but I think the front looks even worse. Yeah, like the front is, oh, ugh. I'm surprised that that's a 5.5. That looks worse than a, like, am I wrong? Am I being too harsh right now? If you ask me, oh, wow, what's this box? I would say like a 4. That thing is had. I heard that we had, okay, the Excite Bike hang tab sold for 144, and we had the Kid Icarus, 7.5. Let's see the box on this one. Because with these early games, the most important thing is the box. I can't stress that enough. So since the cart is a 9.4 here, I have to assume this sold to someone who is simply going to upgrade this. Because a box at a 6.5, you can just buy this and upgrade the cartridge. But this box is a 6.5, which is only 1 point higher than that Castlevania box. And look how nice this is! This box is a masterpiece compared to the Castlevania. That's ridiculous. What we did miss, though, was this Mike Tyson's Punch-Out 7.5 white bullet selling for $1,320. And again, I do want to check out the box grade on this, because it's another one where the box matters a lot. And this is a 6.5 box. Really good inserts though. Like 8 and 8 on this is pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good at 1,300 though. Here is a complete in-box Pokemon Red. I don't know if it was in the Discord that someone was asking or if it was on maybe Video Game Sage, but people were asking if it's worth it to grade your Pokemon games even if they're complete in box. And the answer is absolutely yes, if they are in high grade. You can't get this kind of price if you don't grade it. It doesn't exist. So if you want to play in this market and get these kind of prices, you have to submit it for grading, go pay your $200-300 that it's going to cost you to grade this thing, but you do get the premium on the other end. So it's kind of all worth it in the end. When we have a high grade Pokemon Red late print, or medium print, sorry, it's a Rattata early. I thought it was a black ESRB, but it's selling for almost $2,000. Here's the big one of the auction that we all have to pay attention to. It is only a 9.0 A+. We've been seeing ones in this range. We have a 9.4 A+ that's sold for $14,000, so there you go. So as I was saying, 9.4 A+ sold for $14,000, so relative to that sale, Ocarina of Time, this sale here is very strong. Resident Evil 4 Wii actually for $840, that's pretty decent. Home Alone 2, 192, and Toys for $120. Here we have Wolverine Adamantium Rage, but it is a B seal rating. B plus? Yeah, B plus seal, so ripped pretty badly. Sewer Shark selling for $240. This is the long box version. If you don't know a fucking thing about Sega CD, this is a pack-in title, so this is kind of like your Super Mario World of Sega CD. So getting a sealed one, getting a complete in-box one is much, much, mumuch harder than many games on the system. It's still not a great title, but that's why $240 for a 5.0 B+. So July 20th, we had the 8.5 A++ sell for $9,000. And we had the 9.4 A++ at the signature sell for $22,000. So, yeah, I mean, here's the 9.0 A++ for $12,000 in April. So there you go. A slightly better one sold for $2,000 less back in April. And we also had, okay, no, that one's really high. Here's the 9.4 A++. This is one I was talking about for $16,000. That was in January. So I mean, Ocarina of Time Collector's Edition, that's a pretty good sale for it. At only 9.0 A+. It's getting the floor, I guess is what I'm saying. The floor on this game is rising. Final Fantasy IX 8.0 B+, only $384. Final Fantasy Tactics though, look at this. $4,800 for Tactics. I don't know if they offered one beforehand. Oh yeah, shit, I can look down here, someone told me. So February 1st, we had 1,900. Yeah, so it hasn't been offered. This is so long ago that, and it was a B+ seal. So this one here's a 9.4 A+, this was a 9.8 B+. But regardless, I mean, $4,800, and this isn't even close to perfect. Big sale on Final Fantasy Tactics. Here's Mike Tyson Boxing here, which is purely, again, a sports title. This is just, again, an athlete game sports title. There's nothing special about this other than it being Mike Tyson Boxing high grade. Is that special to you? I don't know. To me, I don't think much of it. But this bidding action tells me I might be in the minority and that sports collectors might really value this. Because wow, that bidding shot up fast. We'll look at the comps on this as well because we've been seeing it come up a few times. $1,300 for Mike Tyson, hey? That's a big sale. Let's go ahead and take a peek at Mikey. So look at that. We had a 9.4 A+, sell for nothing. We had 9.6 A+, 1 month ago. A month ago in a couple weeks. Sell for $360. So, I mean, yeah, this copy had an extra A+, and it sold for 4 times as much. Woo! That's big. Jesus. Like I said earlier, Pink Panther is actually an uncommon game. It's one of those stupid Dreamcatcher published games. I'll show you here. It's this publisher, Dreamcatcher, which are just pretty much notorious for low print run games and games that aren't easy to find in any condition. So if you're familiar with the publisher, you're probably familiar with some of the other games they have. $552 for it. Fair warning. Pretty good, honestly, for Pink Panther. So that was the King of Fighters there, 99, 9.6 A+, only 162. Not much action, really. For whatever reason, the King of Fighters gets no love. I don't know why. In my mind, it's one of it's a pretty big fighting game franchise. Obviously not to the same level of Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or anything like that, but like, I don't know. The King of Fighters really gets no love. None of the games. Is there a good way to get an idea of a common game or just follow the market as you can and pay attention how something comes up? The best way, Ben, if you really don't know, like say you want to find out about N64, just go to eBay, type in Nintendo 64, filter to brand new games, and then scroll every listing that exists. If you scroll through 3,000 N64 listings, you'll have a good gauge and a good feel for what games you continually see. So you won't know what games are maybe the rarest, but you'll have a really good, quick idea of what the most common games are. After that, you have to start doing market watch. Devil May Cry 3, 120. Fight Club, we had one of these sell just a little while ago, actually, and I think it did really shitty. Yeah, $144. Oh, it was only a 9.2A. Okay, never mind. This one's much, much, much higher grade. That's not even fair. This one's doing much better, much higher grade. I think Fight Club is a cool game to own and put on a shelf, but I personally don't care. I don't really collect these movie or sports crossover games. I personally don't really collect them. I might be in the minority there because it seems like there is quite a bit of demand for this type of item. Yeah, 432 for Fight Club. Like, pretty good, honestly, for Fight Club. Here's Matrix. Are people going to care about this one? Is it too late to enter these collectible markets since Pokemon TCG and graded games are in the spotlight and kind of established? Premium prices. Yeah, Pokemon memorabilia. I like that idea a lot, actually. I'll write that down because I agree. That would make for a good video discussion. So, yeah, that movie tie-in that I was just talking about with Fight Club, yeah, Matrix also saw it. I know I didn't even know that this game was based off a movie until I was like 22 years old. So, I'm not sure how much movie tie-in there's going to be for this one. Or crossover, I guess I'm saying.
Fair warning.
Yeah, I think most of the Evil Dead games are worth grading and are probably going to be... Because Evil Dead is such a cult classic that, yeah, I think the Evil Dead games will eventually come into their own more than they are.
Fair warning.
What's my thought on GameCube CIB for the future? Bryson, I would avoid it. You can buy this game from Deal Tavern for $30, I think? I'm pretty sure Deal Tavern has endless supply of this. Just if you want to take a chance on this kind of arbitrage, go pick this up off eBay for about 30 bucks. Bioshock Infinite 9.2 A++. These are continually selling strong. So we will do price comps on this after this sells.
366.
First we have to watch Bioshock Infinite, which this is much like Superman. The chat is telling me you can literally go and buy these for roughly 10, 20 bucks.
$900.
This type of irrationality simply isn't going to continue to exist in the market forever. So when people talk about bubble popping, this type of shit is going to stop. We won't see this type of stuff happening where Bioshock Infinite sells for $1,000. Bioshock 1. We've seen it sell for $1,500 and $3,700, so this sale is right in line. We're 9.2 instead of a 9.4, $1,400. Honestly, the price is coming up. This sold for even more. Bioshock is getting more expensive. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And this begs the question of should you buy now before it gets more expensive, or is that already overpriced? Ooh, that's a tough one to gauge. That is a tough one to gauge. Damn. Here's Catherine. Honestly, one of my favorite games in the last 10 years. Like, I loved this game when it came out. And Catherine only selling for $300 when you see Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite selling for these amounts? Deadpool is almost going to outsell Catherine. That just feels like robbery to me. Absolute robbery.
$170.
Catherine should get so much more love. That's insane. So this Gears of War, it is only a B+ seal. We saw this sell for $14,000 in the Heritage Signature, a near perfect copy or a perfect copy. I'm pretty sure this is a first print. I don't see any kind of variation on it. I'm not an expert on this game, so if someone does know, let me know. But, so yeah, here it is, 14,400. Made in Mexico, M rating 00001 on the UPC. So what does this one say?
110.
Made in Mexico, M rating 00001. Okay, so same variation. I'm going with same variation there. This is a 9.8 A++. I get it. $14,400. This is a 9.4 B+. Arguably much shittier condition, right? We can all agree. But should it sell for 16 times less? 17 times less than a perfect copy? That just seems like either this one massively undersold or this one was grossly overpriced. And trust me, when I first saw this sale price, my thought was that this one was massively, grossly overpriced. This kind of pushes that narrative in my opinion. Let me know if you guys disagree on that. Do I consider Barbie, Glitz and Glamour Pups for the 3DS that console's rarest games? Like I guess so, Bouchard, right? If we're going by actual population, I think it's a consensus at this point that it is the rarest game. I don't follow 3DS too closely, so, I mean, take my word with a grain of salt. But from everything I've seen, yeah, people seem to think that's the consensus. Not a game where I would spend any money on. Largely considered to be the rarest 3DS title that exists. I don't know why it has such a low population, but it's hard to find even just a complete in box. It's hard to find even just a cartridge. Here, this will take us to price chart. We can just take a peek quick. Here you go. You can see that there's hardly any data at all ever for this game.
$280.
That's from June of this year. I have to assume that was a bin or something that did not actually sell for $5K. And yeah. 2020 is the last one it picked up. Obviously, price chart isn't great. Don't take that as gospel, but... But yeah, Glitz and Glam 3DS. I don't know. It's insane. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Is it true that if they grade too hard, people will move away and use other grading companies? There is some merit to that, Computer Blue. There is. If it's truly too hard to ever get a PSA 10 or a perfect grade, people will be pissed off and go to a competitor who offers you the perception of a perfect grade. There is some merit to that, but in the end, market confidence will win out. So even if you don't, like both WATA and VGA never give out perfect grades. And it doesn't affect them because people understand that like the grading scales themselves are consistent. So it's more an issue that PSA is being criticized for not being consistent anymore. If you all of a sudden swap your grading scale where, you know, a year ago this would be a 10 and now you're getting a fucking 8 on it, that is when you piss people off. It's not so much that you don't give out perfect grades, it's that you change the standard for your perfect grade. That's a bigger issue. That does it for this week's weekly auction, and to no surprise at all, it was the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time WATA 9.0 A+ selling for $14,265. And with this sale, we do actually see Ocarina of Time. We see the floor on the game keep going up. Down here, we can see the comps on it that we had back here. We saw the 9.0 A++ sell for $12,000, and we saw a 9.4 A+ sell for $14,400. Now, today, this was only a 9.0 A+, and it sold for almost as much as the 9.4 A++ sold for only May, June, July, 3 months ago, give or take. 9.4 A+, sorry, not A++. So, getting harder to get your Ocarina of Times. It's kind of crazy. We haven't seen a perfect copy yet in a Heritage Signature. We saw what the non-collector's edition did right here. We saw the $228,000 on the non-collector's edition, but we still don't know what the max value is for a collector's edition. It's going to be really interesting to see when a perfect one does eventually come up. Because it will. There are enough of these out there. Perfect copies exist. Make no mistake. Underneath that, though, we saw Final Fantasy Tactics sell for $4,800, which Heritage hasn't really offered one in this kind of grade, so seeing it for $4,800, good sale for Final Fantasy Tactics as far as I'm concerned. Donkey Kong Classics was also one of the best sellers today. $2,600 for 9.4 A+ early print with the circle seal here. Not a super rare game in any capacity, but it's Donkey Kong. It's always going to sell strong. Underneath that, we had Breath of Fire 3, 9.8 A+ selling for $2,200. Really good sale for Breath of Fire 3 as far as I'm concerned. Not a game that gets a ton of love after you come off Breath of Fire 1 and 2 from the Super Nintendo. Breath of Fire 3 is kind of just there. Maybe that's just to me anyway. I never see a lot of people talk about it or make mention of it. This here was a complete in-box Pokemon Red. So if you are sitting on a mint condition Pokemon Red and it is complete in box, it might be worth your time to send it into WATA, get it graded, and consign it to Heritage. I don't know if this kind of price premium will continue to exist on complete in box Pokemon games. It could. I could be completely wrong. But we already saw the sealed ones soften in price, And if we saw the sealed versions come down in price, I don't know how much insulation there's going to be for the complete in box versions, which are obviously way more common than sealed, especially on the Pokemon games. Just something to keep in mind. And then interestingly, we actually had Paper Mario in an 8.0 B plus sell for $1,500. And this could be a case of people not realizing how much further down an 8.0 B plus is on the grading scale. Because when you look at that, you don't think it's a bad grade, right? High grade game. But this really is getting down into your mid grades. Like, this isn't even mid to high. This is just kind of a mid grade Paper Mario. Coming down into our comps here, you can see that 9.2A sold for $1,800, which is only $240 more than this one, and it sold a month and a little bit ago, and this one is in much better condition. So I don't know if this one is just an outlier sale here, because we also saw here like 8.5A plus for $1,800, 8.5A plus for $1,500. Maybe people are getting FOMO on Paper Mario, but I think someone just didn't realize how low of a grade this is. You could probably just do better on it in today's market. You could probably just get a higher grade for this price. Moving into some of the more surprising stuff, I would say, well, not really anymore, but surprising if you haven't been keeping track, is Bioshock again, Xbox 360 selling for $1,400, which is right in line with where it should be selling. And we also have the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, 7.5 white seal, white bullets here, first print with the white bullets. That sold for $1,300. Going down into the white bullet Tysons, we saw over here a 7.5 sell for $1,100 back in June. So a little bit of price appreciation here on the Mike Tyson, because the June copy did have a better box than this one does as well. So $200 more. It's staying steady, I guess is what we could say regarding that. No real price movement. But coming into this Mike Tyson boxing, showing that the love for Mike Tyson is alive and well from sports collectors and video game collectors, $1,320 for 9.6 A++ Mike Tyson boxing. Our strongest Atari sales today were actually Donkey Kong here. I just want to make note of these because these are Atari games that actually broke over $1,000. We had Donkey Kong, which this must be an original print here for the Atari 2600. Sorry. This has to be one of the original prints for Atari 2600. I'm no expert on it, so if you do know, let me know in the comment section. And we also had another sports title, showing that sports titles, again, are strong and in demand. Because here's Pele Soccer selling for over $1,000. So if you're someone who enjoys sports collecting and video games, maybe there's a lot of opportunity in the market. It's hard for me to gauge because I've never been involved in the sports card market or the sports game market. So for myself, I'm just kind of sitting back and seeing what happens with that, but there could be a lot of untapped potential there. Moving down to probably the stupidest sale of the day, we had Bioshock Infinite sell for $1,000. It's available on eBay. It's available on Amazon. It's available everywhere. I don't know. I don't know if this is a special variant of the game. They're saying it has the 10 out of 10 sticker. Maybe that 10 out of 10 sticker on the front means it's a first print. I genuinely do not know with this game. $1,000 for it seems absolutely ridiculous. I can't defend the sale in any way. That just seems like madness. Gears of War, we talked about already that $900 for this one just seems low compared to what the other one did sell for. Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition, 9.8 A++, seeing a nice little premium there. Nothing near the Pokepark premium, but hey, it's only Resident Evil, right? Who cares about that franchise? This again is a game where on eBay, there is a mountain available of them for about $30. This type of irrationality in the market will not last forever. If you're taking advantage of it, good for you, because this is just stupid. Oblivion 9.0 B plus selling for only $432. This is obviously lower grade, but 9.4A sold for $1,400. This is a 9.0 B plus selling for a third of the price. That seems a little bit low to me. This one probably should have sold for a little bit less, or this one a little bit more. I don't know. It's a big gap in grade. I just don't know if it should only sell for a third of the price. That seems like a little bit low. We had a complete in-box Castlevania here, a first print, sell for $312, but this box was thrashed, so if you're thinking, oh my god, first print Castlevania only sold for $312, this is a case where this box was just in really bad condition. And at the bottom of the auction today, the big auction loser, and I didn't even see this at the time, is actually Carnival. Complete in box. This isn't even sealed. A complete in box Carnival. for Atari 2600, selling for $5,300. Or I'm so used to saying high numbers versus saying $53 flat. It sold for 53 bucks. Absolutely insane. The person who submitted this, graded this, they only lost money on this. Absolutely ridiculous to see, but that's what always makes it fun, right? Hope you enjoyed this week's auction. I'll see you guys next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We can go over the live chat, we can watch the auctions, ask me anything you want to know. Hope you see you guys there.